first episode of Cemetery Scout. I'm out here today in the Tyler Point Burial Ground in Barrington, Rhode Island. Now this cemetery here was part of the first meeting house and training grounds that were developed by the settlers of Barrington, Rhode Island after the King Philip's War ended in 1678. Now, something you should know about these cemeteries is that they can be anywhere. They're so old, the development has just kind of happened around them as they've aged for hundreds of years in some cases, and because of that, they can be in some really weird and hard to find places. For example, the Tyler Point Burial Ground right here is right in the middle of a yacht club. There's a house right there, but the other three sides of the cemetery are surrounded entirely by these yachts here. And if you ask me, that's one of the coolest things about doing this project too, is just to see how something this old can be juxtaposed with something this modern. Now I got pretty lucky with this cemetery being the first one alphabetically, because there's actually quite a few pretty interesting people that are buried here. I've got a list of a few I'm gonna go try to hunt down on these pretty faded graves, so let's see if I can go find them. So it wasn't too tough to find this guy. He's got one of the biggest graves in the entire yard. This is Captain William Bowen, and I picked him out because of the inscription he's got at the bottom of his grave here. It says, "His body lies in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Spain." So naturally I just thought that that meant that he must have died at sea off the coast of Spain. But no, he died on the way to New York on land, which means his body was taken across the Atlantic Ocean and dumped in the Mediterranean Sea. And I was curious why that is, so I did a little research. And I found out there was another Captain Bowen who lived and operated around the same time in Rhode Island, and that Captain Bowen was a pirate. Now I have no idea, and I couldn't really confirm if this and that Captain Bowen are the same person or not, but either way, I just think it's kind of cool that this guy's got a marker here in Rhode Island. He died in New York, and his body is all the way across the ocean off the coast of Spain. All right, so I got a few more Bowens to tell you about now. The Bowen family is actually pretty well accounted for in this cemetery. They got a lot of headstones around here that span quite a few generations, but the ones I wanted to tell you about were this guy, Daniel K. Bowen. He drowned in New Orleans. And this guy over here is James Bowen. He died at sea on a return trip to Rhode Island from Havana, Cuba. Now I know neither him or Daniel had very interesting deaths on their own. I just think it's kind of cool how the Bowen family apparently has a whole lot of bodies that ended up out in the ocean. Okay, so it took me a while to find this one just because of how defaced it is. Apparently this whole front part fell off back in 1994. But what it used to say before that happened was Desiree Kent. That's who's buried underneath this headstone. And an inscription on the bottom said, "She was the first English woman's granddaughter on New England," which is a pretty specific accolade to have, I gotta say, but I guess if you got it, you gotta flaunt it. Alright, this is the last one I wanted to show you guys today. This boulder here is the headstone of John Miles. You can see his name is inscribed right on the front here. It's just a boulder, there's no years, there's no inscription, there's no nothing. It's just John Miles. And I think that's where I'm going to leave you. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.